Guys, in this video lecture, we will discuss the accounting for provision and contingent liability. Okay, we will use the past 37 so to discuss the details on how to measure, recognize, when to recognize the provisions, and ano yung gagawin po natin. Right? Do we journalize or is it a disclosure only? Okay, so without further ado, let's start with the provision. Okay. So, ano po ba ang provision? Okay po. So, provisions basically are, these are existing liabilities. Okay, liabilities. Okay, which are uncertain. Okay, uncertain in timing or amount. Okay, yan po yung definition po ng provision. Meaning to say, pag sinabi natin existing liabilities, okay, present obligation po siya ng entity. Okay? And ito po yung unique pagdating kay provisions as compared to other liabilities is yung pagiging uncertain in timing or amount. Meaning to say, okay, pag sinabi natin uncertain timing, okay, it talks about the settlement period or yung due po niya, yung due date. Yan. Kung kailan siya masasettle is hindi natin alam kung kailan. Okay, when. And kung magkano, how much, yung ating obligation na kailangan bayaran to settle the obligation is hindi din natin alam. Okay po? So, meron po siyang uncertainty pagdating doon. Okay, ang tawag natin doon sa liability na yun is provision. But then, once again, it is still a liability on the entity. Ang unique lang is hindi natin alam kung kailan siya babayaran at hindi din natin alam kung magkano yung ating ibabayad. Okay? So, yan po yung definition po ng provisions. Okay? So, now, there are 3 criterias. Okay po? Nagbigay po ng 3 criterias. Okay? On when to recognize a provision. Okay? So, ano po ba itong mga criteria po na to? Number 1, under past 37, okay, paragraph 14, ibigay po siya ng 3. Una, kailangan meron po munang tinatawag na present obligation. Okay? And yung obligation po na to may arise, okay, through legal or constructive. Okay, so na-discuss na po natin to. Pag sinabi natin legal, nag-impose niyan, batas, or pwedeng contracts, kasi yung contracts serves as a legal binding between the two parties involved in the contract. Okay, so yan po yung mga, pag sinabi nating legal obligations, dyan po sila nanggagaling. They arises from laws or contracts. Pag sinabi naman nating constructive obligation due to practices, okay, practices of the entity, nagki-create siya ngayon ng obligating event. Okay po, so common example nito is like for example, okay, so nagkaroon ka ng promotion. Sabi mo, lahat ng mga bibili na customers magsusurrender ng receipts, magkakaroon sila ng free refund. O, di ba? So may expectation na ngayon that in the future is kailangan mong magbayad ng mga refund sa mga magsusole ng receipts na customers. O constructive obligation po 'yon. Okay? O, so yun po, kailangan meron muna tayong tinatawag na present obligation bago natin ma-recognize ang isang provision. Okay? Which is the very essence in this part, diba? Kaya sabi natin dito, existing liabilities po siya. Okay? Number 2, another criteria para ma-recognize po natin yung isang provision is there must be a probable, okay, outflow. Okay? Outflow of resources or in short yung mga economic benefits. Yan. Okay, benefits to settle the obligation. Okay? So, yan po. So, take note, sabi niya dito, probable outflow of economic benefits. So, pag sinabi po nating probable, okay, ang definition po nito is yung likelihood, okay, ng pangyayari, okay, ay mas malaki as compared doon sa hindi. Okay? Likelihood to occur is greater than not. Okay po? So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng probable. So, in terms of measurement, okay, or yung in terms of percentage, okay po, ng isang pangyayari, ang sinasabi lang dito, kapag more than 50%, yung likelihood ng isang pangyayari, probable po siya. Okay? So, probable yung occurrence. Paano naman kapag halimbawa 50% or less? Okay? 50% or less. So, ang tawag naman natin doon is possible obligation. Okay? So, in short, pag sinabing possible obligation, okay, wala ka pang existing obligation during that time. And therefore, there is no recognition. Okay po? No recognition of a liability. Yeah. But there are some cases it requires disclosure. Okay? So, nare-require po ang disclosure. Now, what if mas mababa pa? Okay po. So, ano pa yung mas mababa sa sa 50%? Kapag halimbawa 10% or less na siya yung pangyayari. So, ito ibig sabihin po niyan 50% to 11%, parang gano'n, no? So, ito na, pag less than 10% na siya, okay, ang tawag na natin sa obligation na yun is remote. Okay? So, malabo na talagang mangyari. Okay? So, remote po yan. And then, kapag remote yung obligation, most probably pagdating sa accounting is hindi na po natin siya na-recognize, nor hindi na din po natin siya dinidisclose. Okay? So, what's important in a provision? In order for it to be recognized, kailangan meron pong probable outflow of economic resource. Meaning to say, yung chances ng kakaroon ng utang natin ay 50% or more yung pangyayari na yun. Okay po? Na mangyayari po siya. Okay? Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng probable. Number 3. Okay? So, ano pa? So, we have present obligation, probable outflow, and lastly, dapat po ay yung obligation po na yon or yung liability natin can be measured reliably. Okay, measured reliably. Okay, so ibig sabihin measurable. Okay? So dapat sir, 'di ba sabi mo kanina yung provisions is hindi natin alam, okay? Sabi mo kanina uncertain yung timing and the amount. So, therefore, hindi natin alam kung magkano yung provision na i-recognize natin. And then, isa sa mga criteria, kailangan daw measurable. Paano yun, sir? Well, that's actually a good thing about sa provisions. Because provisions, there are, in layman's term, okay, or sa other, pwede po natin siyang i-describe yung provision as an estimated liability. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po nun, liability po siya, pero yung amount ay ina-estimate lang po natin. So, therefore, meron pa din siyang, measurable pa din siya. Okay, kaya natin ma-determine kung magkano. Pero, pwede mong magbago yung payment? Yes, pwede magbago. If there is a much higher probability or if there is a greater knowledge about how much the liability should be. Okay, so ganoon po. Estimated liability or loss contingency. Yan. Okay, contingent. So, yan po yung mga in layman's term ng provisions. So, in summary, if any of these three criteria are not present, okay, in the liability, okay po, hindi po siya pwedeng matawag na provisions or it cannot be recognized as a liability in the books or in the balance sheet. Okay po. Now, ang next question po natin dito is, how do we measure, okay, the liability or the provision? Okay, so measurement. So, ang general rule po natin pagdating sa provision, okay, or in measuring a provision, okay, see, we always use yung what we call the best estimate. Okay, best estimate. So, like what we've shown here, di ba sabi natin provisions, this can be termed as estimated liability. It is because of the uncertainty in the amount. Okay? Kaya, ang ginagawa po natin is kinukuha na lang muna natin yung best estimate na pwede po nating bayaran in the near future. Okay? So, ganun po siya. Now, how do we get the best estimate? Okay po? So, depende po yan doon sa obligation po natin. Okay po? So, for a single obligation, okay, single obligation, okay, yung best estimate po dyan is yung tinatawag po natin na most likely outcome. Okay? Most likely outcome. Kunyari, okay, meron kang lawsuit. Okay? And that involves patent infringement. Okay po? So, kinasuhan ka, patent infringement. Tapos sabi ng lawyer mo, probable daw na matatalo kayo. Okay? So, there is a most likely chance na magbabayad ka talaga with regards to patent infringement. And then, sabi din ng lawyer mo, ang estimate na babayaran natin doon sa kaso is nasa around 200,000. So, yan. Ang tawag natin dyan is single obligation. Because it gives you a single amount. Okay? With regards to your obligation. Okay po? So, yan po yung most likely na pwede pong ibayad. 200,000. And therefore, yung i-recognize nating provision with regards to the lawsuit is 200,000. Okay? So, ganyan po siya. Kaya lang, there are some cases na yung pong outcome or yung probability or yung possibility ng mga babayaran natin is pwedeng maramihan. Okay po? Or ang tawag po natin doon is large population of items. Okay? Large population of items. So, like for example, yung mga warranties, di ba? So, si warranties, ayan, large population of items kasi, kunyari, mayroong 70% chance na yung mga benta natin or 50% ng nabenta natin ay magki-claim ng warranties. Samantala yung another 50%, kalahati lang yung magki-claim. Parang gano'n, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, large population of items nung mga provisions po yun. Now, the question here is, how do we measure the provisions? Okay? So, depende po yan. Okay? Kapag nagbigay po ng tinatawag po natin na range of possible outcomes, okay, ang ginagawa po natin is kinukuha natin yung tinatawag po natin na midpoint. Okay? So, midpoint approach. So, example tayo ulit. Okay, gamitin natin yung lawsuit kanina. So, dito, papansinin mo, sa single obligation, ito, most likely 200 yung babayaran mo. Okay? So, another example, with similar example dun sa kanina, no? Ang sabi ng lawyer mo, okay, mukhang aabot siya ng, it's either 150,000 to 200,000 yung babayaran natin. Hindi siya sure. Okay po? Pero dito, nagbigay siya ng range of possible payments. Okay po? And then, yung probability of each range, okay, ay equal. So, dito, equal distribution po siya. So, yung 150,000 na chance na babayaran mo is same equal yung probability kapag 200,000 yung babayaran mo. Okay? So, kapag ganun po yung case, ang gagamitin natin to compute for the provision is the midpoint. Pag sinabi nating midpoint, basically is just the average. Okay? So in short, dito sa case natin, 150,000 plus 200,000 divided by 2. Okay? So 150 plus 200,000 divided by 2. So that is 175,000. Okay? So yan na yung i-recognize natin na provision. Now, there are some cases din na ito kasing range na to, ang sinabi natin kanina, each possible items or obligations of settlements ay equally distributed po sila. Okay? So, equal yung chance na magbayad ka ng 150,000, equal yung chance na magbayad ka ng 200,000. Kaya ang ginagawa natin, ina-average. But there are some instances na pwedeng hindi siya equal, di ba? So, pag unequal, yung chances, okay po, ang tawag naman natin doon sa approach na yun is expected value method. Okay? Or expected value approach. So, similar dito sa example na lang, no? So, sabi ng lawyer mo, okay, most likely magbabayad tayo ng 150,000, sabi niya. Okay? Pero magbabayad din siguro tayo ng nasa around 200,000, sabi niya. Pero mas malaki yung chance na magbayad tayo ng nasa 60% yung chance na magbayad tayo ng 150,000 kasi mag-a-appeal tayo. Okay? Kapag mag-appeal tayo, 60% yung chance na 150,000 yung babayaran natin. Pero kapag nasa 40% naman, sabi niya doon, yung chance na 200,000 yung babayaran natin. Okay po. So, ang tawag natin dyan is unequal na yung distribution. Tama? Or yung probability nung mga outcomes or possible outcomes. And therefore, ang gagawin natin is the expected value approach. And pag sinabi natin expected value approach, is kinukuha natin basically yung weight of all possible outcomes. So, dito, ito yung mga possible outcomes natin. Okay? 150 to 100,000. And then, i-multiply natin sila doon sa weight po nila, and then yun yung i-add natin. And therefore, ang proper term dito in mathematics is yung tinatawag natin na weighted average. Ito, average lang siya. So, ibig sabihin, straightforward, equal yung distribution. Pag weighted average ka, okay, minumultiply natin doon sa kanilang appropriate probability ratio. So, in this case, para makuha natin yung provisions, okay, ang gagawin mo, 150,000 times 0.6. Okay, so, okay, 90,000. And then, 200,000 times 0.4. So, 80,000. And then, pag-add mo yung dalawa. So, 80 plus 90. So, ibig sabihin, ang ilalagay po natin na provision sa libro natin is 170,000. Okay? So, ganyan po natin mini-measure yung provision. So, we get the best estimate. And take note, in getting the best estimates, there are different methods. Depende po siya sa case nung type of provision. Kaya nabanggit po natin dito, kapag single obligation po siya, yung most likely outcome lang. Okay? So, ibibigay naman po sa problem po yan. Pero kapag large population of items, titignan po natin. Okay? Kapag range yan, tapos equal yung probability ng mga points, midpoint lang tayo. Pero kapag multiple populations at may probability each point, okay, at different yung probability po nila, expected value approach po tayo. Okay? Now, there are some cases under expected value approach, meron tayong tinatawag na risk adjustment factor. Okay? Risk adjustment factor. So, dito naman sa case na to, yung risk adjustment factor basically ay addition lang po yan doon sa obligation po natin. Kunyari, sa case po natin dito ulit, no? Di ba may lawsuit? Tapos sabi ng company, sabi ng lawyer mo, 150,000, 60% chance, okay, na magbabayad tayo ng 150,000. 40% naman yung chance na 200,000, okay, yung ating ibabayad. Pero, meron tayong tinatawag na 10% risk, okay. So, yung 10% risk adjustment factor na yan, ang gagawin po is i-add pa natin yan doon sa mineasure natin kanina. So, ang gagawin mo, yung 150,000 times 60% times 110%. Sir, saan galing yung 110? Dito yun. Yung 10% plus 100%. Okay? So, ganun po siya. Yung 100%, basically, ito yun yung 90. Tapos, ina-add lang natin yung 10%. Shortcut. Nakuha. So, in short, ganito po siya. So, 150 times 0.6 times 1.1. So, 99,000. Kung ayaw mo yon, pwede mo naman kunin muna yung 10%. Ganito siya. 150 times 0.6 times 0.1. Okay naman yung 10%. Pero, yun yung addition. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, add mo pa yung original. Plus 90,000. Kumukuha mo 99,000. Para mas madali, 110 na lang. Nakuha? And then, ganun din po dun sa 200,000. So, 200,000 times 40% times 110%. So, 200,000 times 0.4 times 1.1. So, makukuha natin is 88,000. So, add natin yan plus 99,000. So, we get 187,000. So, ibig sabihin, kapag merong risk adjustment factor, okay po, ang i-recognize natin na provision is 187,000. Okay? So, ganyan po siya. Kung merong mas madaling approach na formula, ang gagawin mo lang, yung 170 na original, multiply mo lang ng 1.1. Okay? Lalabas din is 187. Diba? So, ganun po siya. Okay? So, ganyan po natin mini-measure. Now, next, another example po ng mga measurement method. Okay? Regarding to provisions, especially kapag halimbawa, yung settlement merong effect yung tinatawag po natin na time value of money. Okay po? So, pag meron pong material, time value of money, ang gagawin po natin is we get the present value of the obligation. So, like for example, sa case natin dito, okay? Kinasuhan tayo ng lawsuit, di ba? Tapos sabi ng lawyer mo, okay, 150% ay 60% yung chance na magbabayad tayo ng 150. 40% yung chance na 200,000. Pero sabi ng lawyer mo, mukhang matagal pa to. Aabutin pa tayo ng 5 years. Okay? Bago magkaroon ng settlement. So, ibig sabihin, medyo matagal-tagal, di ba? 5 years. So, ang gagawin mo, yung future amount na ibabayad mo na provisions or dun sa liability is possible na hindi yun yung value niya today. Because the present value or the time value of money is material. Kaya ang gagawin natin is we get its present value. So, syempre, dapat kukunin mo din dyan yung discount rate. Okay? Yung discount rate, yan yung gagamitin natin to get the present value factor. Okay? So, yan po yung provisions. So, in summary, ulitin ko lang po, pag sinabi natin provisions, these are liabilities that are uncertain in timing or amount. So, ang key characteristic po ng isang provision that distinguishes from other liabilities is yung pagiging uncertain dun sa kanyang settlement date or yung settlement amount. Okay po? And there are 3 criteria on how to recognize or when to recognize provision. Kailangan meron mo ng present obligation. Okay? Pangalawa is dapat there is a probable outflow of economic benefits to settle the obligation. And number 3, the obligation can be measured reliably. If any of these 3 hindi po present, we cannot recognize the provision or the liability. And how do we measure the provision? Meron po tayong tinatawag na best estimate. Okay? Pag sinabi natin best estimate, depende po yan sa case. Kapag single obligation, yan yung most likely outcome. Okay? Kapag large population of items, we can use the midpoint approach. Okay? The midpoint approach. Or, pwede din yung expected value approach. Okay? So, let's answer our illustrative examples. Let's answer our first illustrative example. Sabi dito, Middle Island Ltd. operates a manufacturing plant, and in the year ended December 31, pipe leak. Okay? So, a pipe leak caused the contamination of the soil beneath the section of the plant. So, environmental regulations required the company to restore the land, and the leak is the obligating event. Okay? So, dyan, binanggit pa yan, no? The leak is the obligating event. Cleanup experts have assessed the situation and concluded the following. So, ito pala, no? In assessing whether there is a provision or not. Okay, follow lang po natin itong roadmap po natin. Okay, itong roadmap, ibig sabihin, ito yung key guide po natin if there is a provision or not. Okay po. So, kung titignan po natin, ano, there are two criteria dito na kailangan lang natin tandaan. Okay po. Una, or yung itong three criteria po na yan, yan yung magiging guide natin sa pag-recognize ng provisions. Una, okay po, meron ba tayong tinatawag na present obligation? Okay? Present obligation. So, we can only say that there is a present obligation if there is a past event happen. Okay? So, if the answer is yes, hindi pa siya automatic. Okay po? So, ang next question mo dyan is, meron bang probable outflow? Okay? Ibig sabihin, kailangan natin magbayad. Okay po? And yung pagbabayad natin ay most likely na mangyayari siya kaysa sa hindi na magbayad. Nakuha? Probable yun. Ang tawag natin doon. If the answer is yes, okay, ang next question pa would be, kaya ba nating i-measure? Okay? Measurable ba? Yung kailangan natin, yung babayaran natin na utang. If the answer is yes, and therefore, yun na yung ating pong pwede natin siya i-recognize as provision. Now, using these three criteria, okay, let's try to assess if there is a provision or not. Okay? So, sabi niya dito, yan, nagkaroon muna ng contamination. Kailan nangyari yung contamination? December 31. Take note, ito yung reporting date natin. Okay? Kung babalikan po natin, sabi dito, present obligation due to past event. So, ibig sabihin, dapat itong present obligation na yan, nag-exist na po siya, exist at the end of the reporting period. Okay? So, sa case natin dito, yung leak na yan, nag-exist na siya at on December 31. Tama? So, therefore, meron na. Okay? May past event na siya. Okay po? Tapos, nagkaroon ng contamination ng soil beneath the section 5. And then, sabi niya dito, environmental regulations require the company, ayan o, nakalagay, nire-require na tayo, na kailangan nating i-restore yung land. And therefore, meron na tayong tinatawag ngayon na present obligation. Okay? So, na-meet ba? Meron ba tayong present obligation? The answer is yes. Okay? May requirement, i-restore yung land. And sabi niya dito, and the leak is an obligating event. Okay po. Cleanup experts assessed the situation and concluded the following. Okay, so ano yun? First, the total cleanup cost will fall somewhere between 2 million and 5 million. Okay? Probable ba? Yes. Kasi wala tayong choice kundi ayusin yung land. Tama? Yun yung most likely. Okay po? Na mangyari. Measurable ba? Yes. Kasi nagbigay po siya ng values. Yan. So ito na po yan. Sabi niya dito, because of the unusual nature of the soil and the difficulty of assessing the exact depth of the contamination, the experts state that no particular cost within that range is more likely than any other. So dito, sinasabi lang na equal yung distribution or yung probability ng pagbabayad. Okay? Hindi natin alam. So from 2 million to 5 million. Now, by the way, ang sabi natin kanina dito is kailangan measurable po siya. Okay? Or it can be measured reliably. Okay? So, meron pala tayong tinatawag na yung concept po ng best estimate po dito, it should be reasonable. Okay po? So, kailangan yung estimate po natin is reasonable enough para masabi po natin na there is a measurement or measured provision. Okay? Ngayon, kung babalikan lang po natin kanina, no, dito, doon sa range. Okay? So, like for example, nagbigay ng range na hindi na masyadong reasonable. Okay? Example tayo. Kunyari, dun sa lawsuit kanina, di ba? O, so sabi ng lawyer mo, ang babayaran natin nasa between 10,000 to 200,000. So sa case na to, masyadong maluwang, okay? Or masyadong malawak yung gap, yung range. And therefore, it is no longer reasonable, okay? As to the measurement, okay? So therefore, kapag ganyan po yung case, hindi na masyadong reasonable, we can no longer use, okay, this range as a best estimate, okay? Or even using yung midpoint approach, we can no longer use that, okay, to estimate the provision. And therefore, there is no provision at all. Kasi una, dapat yung best estimate po natin is reasonable. Nakakuha? Okay? So, balikan lang po natin dito ulit yung discussion po natin dito. Hindi naman niya binanggit na unreasonable yung range. Okay? Kasi parehas naman na million. So, kailangan kasi explicitly na sasabihin sa problem na unreasonable yung range. Okay? Or yung mga probable outcome. Okay? Pero dito hindi naman niya binanggit. So, therefore, we can measure or there is a best estimate as to the measurement of the provision is concerned. Okay? So, the outcomes are continuous and equally probable. So, ang requirement sa atin dito, okay, compute the provision must be presented on December 31, okay, 2025. So, ang gagawin lang natin, dahil nagbigay po siya ng range and equal po yung probability ng mga to, so, ang gagamitin po natin is the midpoint approach. Okay, so, para makuha yun, 2 million plus 5 million divided by 2. Okay, so 2 million plus 5 million, 2 million plus 5 million divided by 2. So that is 3.5 million. Okay, so yan na yung final answer po natin. Okay, so yan po yung atin pong i-recognize na provision. Okay, so how do we recognize? Okay, or how do we journalize this transaction? So, ang gagawin mo, magde-debit po tayo ng environmental cleanup expense, 3.5 million, and then credit po tayo ng provision for environmental rehabilitation. Okay? So, this serves as a liability. Ito, expense account. Ito naman, liability account. Okay? 3.5 million. Okay? So, ganyan po siya. Now, let's have problem number 2. Okay? Sabi dito, Assumptions Ltd is an online fashion retailer. Its published policy promises customers a no question asked 60-day return window on all purchases. Okay. This creates a constructive obligation beyond the statutory requirement. So for financial year ended December 31, okay, Assumptions sold 50,000 identical winter jackets at a unit price of 80 pesos. The company has a reliable multi-year history of returns for this product category. Based on the history, it estimates the following outcomes for jackets sold in the year. So, jacket not returned, so ang probability po niya is yung when it comes to repair cost is 90%. Okay? Or yung return cost. And jacket returned, excellent condition, full refund, but resaleable at full price, 7% yung chance. Okay, then 20% yung atin pong additional cost. Okay, that's the refund cost. And jacket return, damaged or used, full refund, no resale value, so 3% naman. Okay, ang gagastusin natin doon is 80 pesos. Okay, full refund with zero recovery. All outcomes are mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. So, this is a large population of identical items. So, ayan. So, binanggit pa niya sa'yo, expected value daw yung prescribed under this problem. Now, kung titignan po natin, nagbigay po siya ng probability of each outcome. Nakikita nyo? O pag ganyan po yung case ng isang problem, so automatic po yun, expected value yung gagamitin po natin. Okay? So sa expected value, ang gagawin mo is the weighted average. Kanina, kapag midpoint, average lang. Okay? Divide by total population. Okay? So ito naman, weighted average. Kasi we multiply this outcome based on their probability. Okay? O sige. So how do we compute for the provisions? So before natin i-compute or i-measure yung provisions, tignan muna natin if there is a provision. Diba? Yun muna yung pinaka-first case po natin, ha? If there is a provision. Ano yung kailangan natin tignan dito? Yung 3 criteria. May present obligation ba? Meron bang probable? Okay, na outflow of resources. And number 3, if it is measurable. Okay? So, first question is, meron bang present obligation? Okay, isa sa mga key determinant dyan is if there is a past event. Okay po. So, kung titignan po natin dito, okay, ayan, no? Sabihin dito, it published a policy promises customers no question asked 60-day return window on all purchases. Okay? So, sabi dito, for the financial year ended December 31, okay, Assumptions Ltd, ito yung company, sold 500 identical winter. So, yung sale transaction, that is already a past event. That creates a constructive obligation. Nakuha? So, yun po yung nag-create po ng present obligation. Yung sale transaction. Okay po? And, syempre, hindi lang yung sale transaction. Kasama dyan yung published policy. So, dalawa. Merong sale and merong published policy. Or in short, nangako ka. Okay? Na pwedeng i-return yung mga jacket at babayaran. Okay? Yung mga return or meron silang refund na marireceive. Okay po? And then number 2, is there a probable outflow? The answer is yes. Okay? So, paano natin malalaman na there is an outflow? Based dito sa outcome sa table po natin. Naglagay siya, di ba? So, in the near future, merong 7% doon sa mga jackets na nabenta natin, magbabayad tayo ng refund na 20 pesos. And then doon sa 3% naman ng mga nabenta natin, magbabayad tayo ng 80 pesos. O yun po yung probable outflow. There is. Ito, yung percentage. Yan, yung probability. So, there is a probability of settlement. Number 3, meron bang reliable estimate? Yes. Ito yun. Okay po. Pwede nating ma-estimate yung kanyang obligation. Okay? So, since the 3 criteria are present, we can now measure the provision using the expected value method. So, to do that, okay po, so ang gagawin lang natin, ganito. Meron tayong 50,000 na nabenta. Tama. Sabi niya dito, 90% daw dyan, doon sa nabenta natin, okay, hindi nila ibabalik sa atin. So, therefore, meron tayong 0 na refund cost. Okay? 7% naman ng mga nabenta natin, okay po, ay babayaran natin sila ng net refund cost na 20 pesos. And 3%, okay po, na 80 pesos. Okay? So, ganyan po siya. So, multiply lang natin. So, yung gagawin mo, so, 50,000 times 0.9, okay, times 0. So, syempre, that is 0. Okay, wala tayong babayaran doon or wala tayong obligation. Okay, M plus natin. Hindi siya ma-M plus pala, no? Then, 50,000 times 0.07 times 20 M plus. So, that is 70,000. And then, 50,000 times 0.3. Tama, 50,000 yung sold. Okay? Times 0.03. Okay? Times 80 pesos. M plus. So, that is 120,000. Total lang lahat natin yung mga yon. So, makukuha natin is 190,000 na total cost ng provision. Okay? So, ganyan po siya. Meron pong mas madaling computation using the expected value approach. Ganito naman po siya. Gagawin mo, 7% times 20. Okay? Tapos, i-add natin dito yung 3% times 80 para makuha natin yung weighted average cost. Yan, per unit. Okay? Ng provision. What percent yan? 80 pesos. Okay? Yung 0, hindi ko na sinama, no? Kasi dapat meron yan, 90% times 0. Equals sa 0 pa din naman yan. So, kahit na hindi na siya isama. So, ang gagawin mo, kukunin mo lang yung unit at weighted average cost. Okay? So, ganito po siya. 0.07 times 2 m plus, but times 2. 0.07 times 20 m plus. Okay, wait lang, ba't ayaw? 0.07 times 20 m plus, and then 0.03 times 80 m plus and MRC. So makukuha natin na net cost ng provision per unit is 3.8. Then pwede mo na siyang i-multiply dyan, okay, sa 50,000 na jacket. So makukuha mo yan times 50. So makukuha mo si 190,000. So same lang. Okay, ito mas madali yung computation po niya as compared this one. Mas mahaba to eh. Okay, so ang first step natin dito is kinuha lang natin yung unit, weighted average cost per unit. Ganun lang po siya. So ayan. So paano yung entry po natin kapag nakuha na natin? So debit lang tayo ng sales returns. Okay, expense, pwede pong sales returns expense. Okay, or allowance for sales returns, pwede din po, 190,000. Then, credit tayo ng provision for refund. Okay, so 190,000. So, ganyan lang po siya. Okay, kapag expected value approach. Okay, problem number 3. Okay, so meron tayong case number 1 dito and case number 2. Sabi dito, TerraCore Mining Ltd. Operates an open pit copper mine under its environmental license. Okay, it is legally required. Okay, so underline natin to. Legally required to restore the land to the original state at the end of the mine's life, which is estimated to be 10 years from the reporting date, okay, of December 31, 2025. Restoration cost depends on whether new cleaner restoration technology successfully passes regulatory approval. Okay? So, nagbigay siya dito ng probability of outcome. So, alam mo na, expected value approach yung gagamitin natin. TerraCore has a large number of similar mining assets giving it a robust data for the specific obligation. Okay? O, so binanggit pa niya, no? Hindi pa niya pinahirapan yung problem. Binanggit pa niya, expected value yung gagamitin. Pero sa problem solving po natin, sa problems po natin is hindi pa niya babanggitin kung ano approach yung gagamitin. Huwag kang mag-alala kasi madali lang naman ma-determine. Pag nagbigay siya ng range, tapos equal yung probability each outcome midpoint. Pero pag nagbigay siya ng multiple outcome, tapos nagbigay pa siya ng probability ratio, expected value ka. Parang ito. Yan, nagbigay siya. Okay, dalawa yung probability na outcome. Okay, tapos nagbigay pa siya ng probability ratio, expected value. So, kaya kahit hindi niya banggitin to, alam ko na expected value yung gagamitin. Okay? So, case 1. Sabi dito, the management assesses the market participant would require an additional 15%, okay, of the expected value as a risk premium to accept the obligation because the bulk of probability, 60% sits at the higher cost. Ano kaya yung 15% na yan? Yan yung tinatawag natin na adjustment or risk adjustment factor. Okay? Risk adjustment factor. Okay? So, case 1 muna tayo. Okay, before natin i-measure yung provisions, kung magkano po siya, punta muna tayo ulit sa decision tree diagram natin. Paano yung decision tree diagram natin? Meron bang present obligation? Okay. The answer is, sabi dito, okay, operates in a copper mine. Okay po. So, sabi dito, merong, required ng batas na kailangan i-restore yung land. So, whether you like it or not, since mining industry ka, okay po, meron ngayon tinatawag na legal obligation. Hindi siya constructive, no? Required siya ng batas. So, there is a legal obligation. Okay? So, there is a present obligation already. Kasi nagmamine ka na, di ba? Pag nag-start ka na mag-mine dun sa isang lupa, wala kang choice kundi i-restore yon yung minina mo. Nakukuha? So, ganun po siya. Number 2, probable ba? Okay? Na yung obligation na yun is babayaran mo. Yes, ayun, nagbigay siya ng probability sa'yo. So, ibig sabihin, mangyayari talaga, okay, na kailangan mong i-restore. And na-require ka pa nga, di ba? So, it is more likely to happen to restore, or it is more likely to restore the land as compared to not, okay, restoring it. Okay? So, probable yung pangyayari. And measurable ba? Yes. Okay? Measurable siya because nagbigay po siya dito ng, sabi dito, 5 million kapag yung technology is approved. Okay po? Pero kapag hindi naman na-approve yung technology natin, restoration cost natin is around 10 million. Ibig sabihin, meron siyang best estimates. Nakakuha? So, we need to compute yung atin pong provisions. So, ganito yung gagawin po natin. So, doon sa 5 million, okay, so, ang possibility na mangyari po yan is 40%. So, i-multiply natin siya sa 40%. Okay? And yung 10 million naman, ang possibility na mangyari na magbayad tayo ng 10 million is nasa 60%. So, compute natin kung magkano po yan. So, 5 million. Tanggalin natin yung 5 million times 0.4. So, 2 million. Then, 10 million times 0.6. 6 million. So, pag tinotal natin yan, so, ibig sabihin, 8 million siya. Tama ba? Kaya lang, take note, under case number 1, ang sabi niya dito, okay, saan na? Yan. Case number 1, the managed asset market participant would require an additional 15%. Okay? As a risk premium. Yun po yung tinatawag natin na risk adjustment factor. So, yung 8 million na yan, i-multiply pa natin siya sa 1.15%. Saan galing, sir, yung bakit may 1.15? Kasi, di ba, ang i-add natin dapat is 15%. So, para ma-add na din, kasama yung 8 million, 1.15 na. Para hindi natin ina-add lang yung 15%. Nakuha? So, ganun po siya. So, 8 million times 1.15. So, ibig sabihin, 9.2 million. Okay? So, yan na ngayon yung atin pong tinatawag na provisions. Okay? So, 9.2 million for case number 1. Okay? Case number 2, sabi dito, because settlement is expected after 10 years, the risk adjustment has already been embedded in the cash flow. Therefore, discounts the risk adjustment cash flow using pre-tax risk-free rate of 5%. Ngayon, kung titignan mo dito, sabi niya dito, because the settlement is expected after 10 years pa. Okay? Basically, ang binabanggit niya lang dito, that there is a material time value of money. Okay po? Dahil material po yung time value of money, yung 9.2 million po na yan, yan po yung future outflow na mangyayari pa lang 10 years after. Which is malayo pa during this date. Kaya ang gagawin po natin, so to get the best estimate, okay po, kailangan po natin siyang i-discount using present value of the 5%. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po, for case number 2, case number 1 yan. So, case number 2, ang gagawin mo lang is yung 9.2 million na nakuha natin, i-multiply natin sa PB factor. Okay? And yung PB factor na yan, dahil one-time payment naman po yung restoration po natin, di ba? One time lang naman mangyayari. Okay? Baka kasi mamaya hanapin mo pa, no? Installment ba natin yun ibabayad? Hindi naman, di ba? Yung restoration mangyayari at the end of the life of the mine. O, di ba? So, after 10 years. So, ibig sabihin, one time natin ibabayad yung 9.2 million. So, PB of 1 lang tayo. Okay? Ng 5%. Sige. So, kunin natin yung present value factor ng 5% for 10 years. Okay? PB of 1. PB factor of 1. Okay? O, sige, kunin muna natin. So, 1.05 divide. So, 1. O, nag-start siya sa 1. So, isa pa. Doon mag-start na magbilang after ng 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. PB of 1 lang yung gagamitin natin. Yan na yun. So, basically, yung PB of 1 natin is 0.6139. Okay? O, yan yung gamitin natin. Round na lang natin to 4 decimal. So, 9.2 million times 0.6139. O, so, magkano po siya? Times 0.6139. So, that is 5,647,880. So, that is now our provision. Okay? So, nakita mo yung pinagkaiba ng dalawa? Okay. So, yung kanina, kinuha natin yung expected value. Okay po. Adjusted to risk factor or risk premium. Okay po. Yung pangalawa naman, okay po, ang nangyari is because the time value of money is material, we get the present value. Okay? So, ganun po natin mini-measure yung provision, yung best estimate. So, wala pong standard or wala pong specific or particular formula na ginagamit on estimating the provisions, but rather we always use kung ano yung best and appropriate method na pwedeng gamitin. Okay? So, kasi nga po, when recognizing provision, we always use the best estimate. Now, before natin sagutan yung mga susunod na problems, no, discuss lang natin saglit. Ano ba yung contingent liability? Ano yung pinagkaiba niya sa provision? Okay? So, to distinguish between the two, no, yung provision and contingent liability are both liabilities. Okay? The only difference between the two, si provision kasi is yung liabilities nag-exist na siya and it is most likely na meron talaga tayong kailangang isettle na obligation. Okay po? Kaya nga ang concept ng provision dapat probable and measurable. Okay po? So makikita mo yan, dapat probable and measurable. Kapag sinabi naman natin contingent liability, there is a possible obligation, okay? Or, if there might be a probable obligation, okay, pero yung obligation na yun is it cannot be estimated reliably. So, in short, doon sa 3 criteria po natin, okay, in recognizing a provision, kapag any of the following are not present, okay, so like for example, hindi pala siya present obligation, okay, so therefore, hindi siya pwedeng ma-qualify as provision. So, it's either contingent liability siya or hindi talaga siya liability at all. Okay? Or, kapag may liability tayo, pero hindi pala probable yung outflow. Meaning to say, it's around 50% or 11% yung chance na kailangan natin isettle yung obligation. So, ibig sabihin, possible lang siya. At kapag possible yung obligation, contingent liability po yun. Hindi po siya provision. Okay? So, paano kapag remote, sir? Pwede ba siyang ma-classify as contingent liability? The answer is no. Okay po? So, pag sinabi natin contingent liability, it is a possible obligation. So, in short, dito dapat siya sa criteria na to. Okay? Papasok. Dahil kapag remote na po yung atin pong obligation, okay, hindi po siya magpo-fall under contingent liability nor provisions. So, yun po, no liability at all. In short, there is no disclosure needed. Siyempre, hindi din kailangan ng presentation sa balance sheet. Okay? Paano naman, sir, kapag halimbawa, probable siya, pero yung estimation ng kanyang amount is hindi natin ma-estimate. Okay? Or there is no best estimate. So, papasok din siya sa category ng contingent liability. Now, let's answer this next problem. Okay? Sabi dito, Aqua Pure Water Company is being sued for a major by a competitor for a patent infringement. The competitor is claiming 10 million, okay, damages, okay, And Aquapure's legal advisor assessed the case as follows. It is estimated that 30 to 40% chance that the court will find against Aquapure, and the team legal believes that the amount of any damages could be reasonably estimated within the range of 1.5 million to 3.5 million. Okay, so sa problem na to, kapag tinanong sa'yo how much is the provision to be recognized, okay, pag tinanong sa'yo yung provision, ang isasagot mo, 0. Bakit siya 0? Pansinin mo, yung chance or yung probability ng obligation natin is nasa around 30 to 40%. Kung babalikan po natin yung discussion natin kanina, kapag around po siya ng less than 50% to 11%, that is a possible obligation. At kapag possible obligation, contingent liability po siya. O, diba? O, kaya kapag tinanong sa'yo, how much is the provision, ang sagot mo 0. Pero kapag tinanong sa'yo, how much is the contingent liability to be recognized, ang gagawin natin, okay, may sagot ka. Okay po. And ang gagamitin natin na approach is the midpoint approach. Bakit midpoint? Kasi po, ang binigay po niyang estimate ay range. Okay? So, 1 million to 3 million. So, kapag kukunin natin yung average po nito, 1 plus 3, that's 4 divided by 2. So, nasa around 2 million po siya. Tama? So, 1 plus 3, so divided by 2, so equal to 2 million. So, ang i-disclose natin, okay po, as contingent liability is around 2 million. Take note, ang ginamit nating term, disclose. Okay? Kasi, contingent liabilities are not presented in our financial statement, but they are disclosed, okay, in our notes to financial report. Okay? So, ganyan po siya. So, 2 million. Paano kapag ang tinanong sa'yo, how much is the liability to be presented in the balance sheet? Ang tinatanong sa'yo, provision. Ulitin ko. Kapag ang tinatanong sa'yo, how much is the provision? Now, let's answer yung 4 remaining problems. No? Okay. So, ito, meron siyang choices. Okay po. Pero case analysis po siya. Sige. A fire damage, a factory owned by an entity, and the company filed an insurance claim. So, nag-file tayo, insurance claim, for the value of the factory structured equipment, as well as 1 year net profit amount. Several meetings with officials from the insurance company were held during the year. Finally, before the end of the year, it was ruled that the entity would be compensated for 90% of its claim. So the entity received notification that the settlement check for that amount had been mailed, but it did not arrive before the end of the year. How should the entity treat this in the financial statement? By the way, no, kung titignan po natin dito, medyo baliktad po siya. Meron kasi tayong concept ng tinatawag po natin na contingent asset. Discuss lang natin saglit. Okay? Contingent asset. So, di ba, kung meron tayong concept ng contingent liability, yun po ay possible liabilities. Okay po? Or possible obligations, and we do not recognize this, or we do not present this among liabilities in our balance sheet, but rather we disclose only. Si contingent asset po naman is hindi po natin siya basta-basta na-recognize. Baliktad po siya. Okay? Kung 50% yung probability nung outflow of resources, okay, or yung liability or yung obligation is 50% yung chance na meron po tayong obligation na kailangan bayaran, nire-recognize na natin siya kaagad. Okay po? Pagdating sa contingent asset, hindi po ganun siya kabilis. Okay? So, dapat meron pong 90% probability before natin pwedeng i-recognize ang isang contingent asset. Okay? As compared to a liability. Si liability kasi, ang requirement lang is dapat more than 50%. Tama? Dahil kapag more than 50%, edi ibig sabihin, recognize tayo ng provision. Sa asset, hindi. Dapat 90% yung chance. Okay? Ang principle na, ang tawag po natin sa principle po na yun is conservatism. Okay? Ibig sabihin, mas conservative po tayo sa pag-recognize ng asset as compared to a liability. Nakuha? Okay, so conservatism principle. So dito, ano to yung titreat natin? Basahin natin mga requirement. At the end of the year, i-record na natin 100% of the claim. Ito, bakit ko nasabi na contingent asset po yung tinutukoy nito? Kasi tayo po yung nag-file. Ayan, no? Sabi niyo doon, tayo nag-file. So, ibig sabihin, tayo mayroong claim. Ayan. May receivable tayong marireceive. Okay po? So, kaya contingent asset po siya. So, sa letter A, sabi niyo dito, at the end of the year, record 100% of the claims as a receivable because the contingent asset, di ba, is almost certain to be collected. Okay? And amend the 10% the following year when the settlement check is actually received. Sabi dito, true or false? The answer is actually mali. Okay? False po yung letter A. The reason is because kinukuha din lagi yung tinatawag din po natin na best estimate. Hindi po natin pwedeng i-recognize yung buo. Okay? Kung magkano lang ini-expect natin na marireceive. Okay? So, disclose the contingent asset in the footnotes. Hindi din. Okay, false. Okay? So, i-disclose lang natin siya if 50% or more. Di ba? O, yun yung pinagkaiba dito. Sa atin, contingent asset or meron tayong i-recognize na contingent asset kapag 90%. I-disclose natin to, okay, kapag 50%. Okay? Pag 50% up to 90%. Yun siya. 90% to 50%. Okay? And considered na po siya as remote if less than 50%. Okay? So dito, hindi na po kailangan disclosure. Actually, kailangan natin siyang i-recognize kasi 90% na po siya. Diba? Record 90% of the claim as a receivable as it is virtually certain. Yun yung term. Okay? Kapag 90% pala, ang tamang term doon is virtually certain. Yan. Okay? Yung tawag. Kapag 50%, probable. Okay? Pag 90% and up, virtually certain. Pag 50% below, up to 10%, possible. Pag less than 10%, remote. Okay? So, ganun po siya. Okay, wait until the next year until the settlement check is actually received. O, syempre, false. Ang tamang sagot dito, letter C. Ayan. So, mag-recognize tayo ng receivable kapag virtually certain na siya. Okay? O, so, the answer is letter C. Okay? Kasi 90% naman na po yung claim. Okay, let's have another example ulit. So, dito naman ang requirement sa atin, what amount of undiscounted cash flow for the provision and what is the measurement of the provision on December 31. So, dalawang requirement po, no? Yung undiscounted cash flow muna and yung magkano yung provision na i-recognize. Pag sinabi nating undiscounted cash flow, ang ibig sabihin lang po niyan is hindi po siya pini-present value. Okay? So, ganun po siya. Libya company is defendant in a breach of patent lawsuit. So, the lawyer believed that there is an 80% chance. Okay? So, underline mo yan. So, dahil 80% chance daw, that the court will not dismiss the case and will incur an outflow of benefits. So, meaning to say, probable yung atin pong obligation. Tama? Okay, so dahil probable siya, sabi dito, if the court rules in favor of the claimant, the lawyers believe that there is 60% chance that the entity will be required to pay damages of 200,000 and 40% chance that the entity will pay 1 million. Also, measurable din. Okay? Probable and measurable. Okay? Meron bang past event? Yes. Kasi sabi niya dito, during 2020, di ba, nagkaroon ng breach of patent. Okay po. So, there is a past event, present obligation. Okay? And there is a probable. Okay? And there is an estimate or it can be estimated reliably. Okay? Yung atin pong liability. And therefore, there is a provision. Sabi dito, there is no indication that the claimant will settle out of court and the court is expected to rule in late December 2021. Okay? So, an 8% risk adjustment factor to the cash flow is considered appropriate to reflect the uncertainties in the cash flow estimate. And then the appropriate discount rate is 12% and the present value for one period is 0.89. Ganito po siya, no? Pag nagbigay po siya ng present value, ang sinasabi lang doon is yung provisions, material yung time value. Okay po? Ulitin ko Pag nagbigay po siya ng present value factor, isa lang yung ibig sabihin po niyan. Material yung time value of money. And therefore, kailangan mo i-present value yung undiscounted amount. Okay? So, kunin mo natin yung undiscounted cash flow. So, dito, sabi niya, 80% daw yung chance. So, ibig sabihin po, yung pagbabayad po natin ng 2 million, okay po, meron tayong 80% chance na magbabayad ng 2 million. Okay po? Pero, yung probability na magbayad tayo ng 2 million is nasa around 40% chance lang. Okay po? And then, yung sa 1 million naman, sa 1 million, 80% chance na magbabayad tayo. Pero yung probability na magbayad tayo ng 1 million is nasa around 60%. Or baliktad. Sorry, baliktad pala, no? Si 2 million, 60% yung probability. Si 1 million naman is 40%. Okay? So, multiply natin yan. So, 2 million times 0.8 times 0.6. So, we have 960,000. Then, M plus natin yan. 1 million times 0.8 times 0.4. So, M plus. So, we have 320,000. So, add natin yung dalawa. So, we have 1,280,000. Pero dahil meron tayong risk adjustment factor dito, kailangan natin pa siyang idagdag yung risk premium na yan. Okay? Or yung risk adjustment factor. So, gagawin natin, multiply lang natin ng 1.08. Okay? So, times 1.08. So, we have 1,382,400. So, this is now the undiscounted cash flow. Okay po? Na kailangan nating ibayaran on the settlement date. Which is, hindi natin alam kung kailan yung settlement period. Okay? Next, magkano natin i-measure yung provision? Dahil yung problem, nagbigay siya ng PV factor. Okay po? So, sinasabi niya na kailangan nating i-present value yung undiscounted amount. So, ang gagawin mo lang is yung 138,400 na yan, i-multiply natin siya dun sa PV factor na given. 0.89 times 138,400. Okay? So, therefore, yung provision na i-recognize natin sa libro on December 31, 2021, okay po, o 2020, is 1,230,336. Okay, so yan po yung ating provision na i-recognize at year-end. Kaya ang sagot natin, okay, 1,382,400 for the undiscounted cash flow, and yung provision naman is 1,230,336. Okay, problem number 3. So, meron tayo dito 3 statements. Sige, basahin natin problem. Basahin muna natin mga statements. Ano yung requirement? Sabi niya dito, statement 1, a provision needs to be recognized in litigation in May amounting to 800,000. Okay. So, ibig sabihin for May lang to. Tama ba? Or, hindi. Meron tayong May, July, ayan. And then, yung mga other information. Okay. And then, no provision is recognized for guarantee because there is only a remote likelihood that a failure payment and a loss on lawsuit needs to be recognized in the patent infringement. O, tignan natin if true lahat yung statements na yan or may false. Sige. Free and Company provide the following information on December 31, 2020. In May 2020, Free and Company became involved in litigation. In December 2020, okay, May po ito ha. At tapos, in December 2020, the court assessed a judgment of 1.6 million against Free and Company. So, the entity is appealing the amount of the judgment. And the attorney believed that it is probable that the assessment can be reduced on appeal by 50%. The appeal is expected to take at last a year. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, may isang taon pa before magkaroon ng decision. Okay? With regards to the appeal. So, yung first statement, a provision needs to be recognized in litigation in May amounting to 800,000. The answer is, tignan natin. Okay? So, una, okay po, nagkaroon ng court case and nagkaroon na din ng assessment. Okay po? Sabi dito kasi, the court assessed a judgment of 1.6 million. Pero dahil there is a probability, okay, na mangyari yung appeal, okay po, at yung result nun would be a reduction in the payment, okay, amounting to 50%. Okay po? So, ibig sabihin po niyan, yung dapat na i-recognize natin na provision, kailangan din natin i-adjust. Okay? Na-meet ba yung criteria ng pagiging provision? Yes, definitely. Una, there is a present obligation kasi may panangyari yung court case. Tama? Past events. Okay po? Therefore, there is a present obligation and yung likelihood ng pangyayari is probable and yung best estimate niya ngayon, okay, yun yung problema natin. It is hindi po yung 1.6 but rather 50% of 1.6. So pag kinuha natin yun, 1.6 million times 50%. So that is 800,000. So that is now the best estimate of the obligation because probable na ma-reduce yung atin pong obligation. So dun sa statement 1, amounting to 800,000 daw, the answer is true. Okay? Number 2, no provision is recognized. Okay, on July 2020, Pasig City brought action against Freinin Company for polluting the Pasig River with its waste product. It is probable that Pasig City will be successful and probable. Underline natin yan. But the amount of damages that the entity might have to pay should not exceed 1.5 million. So dito, probable. Okay po, meron bang present obligation? Yes, kasi nangyari pa yung event July. Okay po. At kung titignan mo, probable na matatalo tayo sa kaso. Okay po. And measurable din. So dito, ang provision natin is 1.5 million. Okay? On third bullet, hindi yan yung binabanggit niya kasi hindi naman guarantee yun. Okay? Sa third bullet naman, sabi dito, Freinin Company has signed a guarantor. Okay? Guarantee siya dito. 1 million loan by First Bank to Northern Company. So, a principal supplier to Freinin. At this time, there is only a remote likelihood that Freinin Company will have to make payment on behalf of the Northern Company. So, dito, dahil binanggit naman ninyo mismo yung remote, ibig sabihin po niyan, 10% or less. Okay? So, pag 10% or less, no disclosure. Okay? Yung requirement. So, no contingent liability nor provision. Okay? So, dito, no provision is recognized for the guarantee? Yes. Okay? That is true also. Okay? Number 4. Freinin Company has a long-owned a manufacturing site that has now been discovered to be contaminated with toxic waste. So, the entity has acknowledged its responsibility for the contamination. Okay? So, an initial clean-up feasibility study has shown it will cost at least 500,000 to clean up the toxic waste. So, dito, meron ba tayong tinatawag na present obligation? Yes. Kung titignan mo, ayan no, meron na tayo, okay? Mami-ara tayo ng manufacturing site. Tapos, na-contaminate siya. Okay? And, take note, merong acknowledgement. Okay po? Regarding doon sa contamination. So, there is a provision here. Okay po? Amounting to 500,000. Okay? Last, Freinin Company has been sued for patent infringement and lost the case. O, natalo na tayo. The preliminary judgment of 300,000 was issued and is under appeal. Okay? So, dito, meron ba tayong provision? Yes. Okay po. Kasi kung titignan mo, tatalo na tayo eh. Okay po. So, meron na tayo kagad liability or probability. There is a probable that we need to settle the obligation. Now, with regards to the amount, okay po, pwede po siyang magbago if there is a greater knowledge with regards to the best estimate. Pero dito sa case natin, hindi naman niya binanggit na meron pang best estimate as to the 300,000. Okay? Na preliminary judgment. So, therefore, we can recognize a provision amounting to 300,000. So, yung third, a loss on lawsuit needs to be recognized in the patent infringement. That is true. Okay? Kasi kailangan natin mag-recognize ng provision. Ang entry mo kasi dyan, debit on loss on lawsuit. Okay? Debit, tas credit ka ng provision. Okay? On lawsuit. Say 300,000 or provision for patent infringement. Okay? 300,000. So, pag tinanong sa'yo how much the total provision to be recognized, ang isasagot mo is 800,000 plus 1.5 plus 500,000 plus 300,000. So, magkano yun? Add natin. 800 plus 1.5 Okay? Plus 500,000 plus 300,000. That is 3.1 million. Okay? Tinanong naman sa'yo, how much is the total contingent liability? Ang isasagot mo, 0. Okay po? Kasi wala naman tayong nakita ang contingent liability dito. Sir, yung ito, hindi ba contingent liability? Hindi po. Kasi ang contingent liability dapat possible obligation po siya. Okay? So, yan po yung number 3. Okay, so in summary, under PAS 37, provisions, contingent liabilities, and contingent assets are discussed, no? So, ano po ba yung pinagkaiba ng tatlo? Pag sinabi nating provision, ang definition nito, these are liabilities, okay, with uncertain timing, okay, and amounts. And then, ang requirement natin para ma-present po siya sa balance sheet, presented ba siya sa balance sheet? Yes, okay po. So, pinapresent natin siya sa balance sheet, pero ang requirement is kailangan meron tayong present obligation, okay. Number 2, kailangan probable yung outflow ng economic resource to settle the obligation. And number 3, okay, the settlement can be estimated reliably, or in short, measurable dapat yung liability. Okay? So, si provisions po, it is defined as a liability itself na pinapresent po natin sa balance sheet. Okay po? Whereas, pag sinabi naman natin contingent liability, ang definition po nito, these are possible liabilities. Okay po. That the amount, okay, are uncertain or the timing is uncertain. Okay? Ganun naman po siya. Kaya nga, ang unique sa kanya dito, it's either probable po yung obligation, probable siya, or yan, measurable. Okay? Unlike kapag provision, it is probable, okay, and measurable siya. Okay, yun yung pinagkaiba nila. Dito, it's either, no, possible liability siya, or a liability that is probable but not measurable, or measurable, okay, but not probable. Ganun po siya. Pinapresent ba natin siya sa balance sheet? The answer is definitely no. But, okay, meron po tayong disclosure. Okay? What about a contingent asset? Similar to a contingent liability, it is also a possible asset. Okay? Possible asset po siya. That there is an economic benefit will flow to the entity, pero hindi po natin siya na-recognize sa balance sheet. Okay? So, no pa din po. But then, when do we recognize the contingent liability or the contingent asset in the balance sheet? If yung probability ng economic benefit ay virtually certain. Okay? Kapag virtually certain, ibig sabihin po 90% yung probability. Okay? So, therefore, hindi na po siya contingent asset on. But rather, asset na po talaga siya. Okay? So, dun lamang po natin recognize kapag virtually certain na yung isang contingent asset, okay, it is no longer a contingent asset but an asset that we recognize and present in the balance sheet. Okay po? So, ganyan po siya. Ito, probable, pag sinabi natin probable, 50% or more than 50%. Most likely na mangyayari po yung obligation po natin. Okay? So, that's the summary for PAS 37.